Hello, hello. Good. Yourself?
No,
Perhaps that's just top of mind.
I heard you say Ver, and I just thought you were about to say Verlisifly.
Uh,
He's not a very good person.
I recognize the name.
It's a Pokemon content creator. He didn't do anything like illegal or anything like that. He's just a dick.
Yeah. Also
No,
not
fair
surprising to
not.
hear. Cool. Normal rotation, freeze to flare. Easy peasy. Oh, that's right, you did do that. I forgot about that. Oh. I mean, it's Hell's Itch. Yeah, no, it's not as bad today, thank God. It was brutal yesterday. I literally couldn't even do anything else. It was like so painful.
I don't even know what that is. Is it just a really bad sunburn?
So yeah, I mean, I've been sunburned a bunch in my life, but like apparently you can have a side effect from the sunburn where your skin just like all of a sudden gets like incredibly itchy. Like nothing you can do fixes it. I had aloe, I had like itch cream, and like nothing was helping. It was just painful for like probably 2 hours.
Ooh.
That reminds me whenever I got stung by a jellyfish and had an allergic reaction. It ruined my entire vacation because I had to like stay in a bath to stop the pain.
Yeah, I was reading about that. That's what one of the things people recommended doing for this, and I was just like, I don't want to do that. I was hoping it goes away. Finally, it did.
That just sounds awful, honestly.
I know. It's like one of those like ways where you get tortured by like dripping a little bit of water on your one spot of your skin repeatedly. Like it doesn't sound painful when you think about it, and then like you're experiencing it, and it's miserable.
Yeah.
It's not even something like excruciating pain. It's more just really annoying.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess the more accurate word. Like it was to the level of annoyance where I couldn't focus on anything else, but like I wasn't like dying. It just sucked.
Well, what do you both say we get started? Any objections?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
No, let's change topics before it starts to bother me again because I'm thinking about it so much.
Oh yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
everybody. I want to welcome you to our Week 6 recap stream for XPDLA. I'm Dr. Geo. I have two cool people with me today. I've got P McGee, and we have a special guest today, CatsRuleTheDumb, but you can call her Cats.
Hello.
Who's changing the color of my page?
No, you misnamed Freeze. You had it
Oh.
named as Flare. I fixed it for you.
Thanks.
Before
That's been a few weeks old.
I'm pretty sure Freeze is the top division.
I mean, it makes sense to me. We had a 120 turn game this week.
Wait, we did? I don't keep up with any of the other divs.
Oh, it was a thing. Let's see. This one, yeah. There we go. Okay. So going through these matches, that was one of them. This first match between Krubreb and Adrius, this is our featured match, so we won't get into it. I guess it'll kind of spoil it anyway, but it was.
Are we gonna watch this one slow?
I think this one's only like 49 turns.
Yeah, this one's alright. We had a 2-0 for Krubreb. MVP just for a little bit of, I don't know,
Teaser. A little teaser.
Yeah, a little teaser. That's a good word. Rotom Wash. Oh, hey, Liger. Red Lobster McGee. So yeah, we got the Rotom Wash in. This next match between Adrian and Upperog was a double forfeit. I guess
they didn't
had
schedule.
No time.
I mean, so, and this is a good reminder for folks, this got put into place last season because it was a mess then too. Like, you need to schedule games by Friday. You can't schedule them on Saturday. Neither party be available and then be asking for extensions, which is, I think, what happened here.
Yeah.
And so, let's give the MVP to Blacephalon because they clowned around.
Blacephalon. No, that isn't it. Well, just because we got cats here. Whoops. I didn't mean to put the S there. There we go.
You're just gonna put God there.
Yep.
Do you have the doc automatically inputted to just show that sprite when you type God?
Yes.
That is great.
Like, I've got a little column for sprites, and it's like $8.99 in the Pokedex. It's great. It's not Arceus.
It's funny because I got a Showdown server to accept that, so I can draft it next season of that league. Okay.
Oh man. So next up we have Thorozak versus Hoyt Coo. This was a pretty good win for Hoyt Coo. He was able to pursuit trap Tapu Lele, and I think most importantly is he wasn't spamming setup to win this one.
No.
But all of his
he clicked automize.
Oh, he did. That's right. But one of his mons took all the KOs again, so he's got like 3 mons with 6 KOs. It's really weird.
All from one performance, yeah. Basically, if he's gonna win a game, he's 3-0 when a mon gets all 6 kills. He is 0-1 when they share kills.
And I guess we got to give the KO to the Pokemon that actually got the kills.
Yeah.
Was this like a drum set? Or...
No, this was a automize into Boom Burst to activate a Throat Spray.
Yeah.
And then he actually had to back off mid-game because he Draco Meteored shortly afterwards, and so it got his special attack too low. Then he came back in later, and somehow Komodo got to finish it off, even though he didn't get it all in one go.
At that point, why not just run Clangorous Soul?
Maybe the +2 speed was more important than +1. I don't remember the matchup.
I think there was something to outspeed that he had to account for. That was probably going to be Scarfed. Yeah, there's probably something that was going to be above an 85 that was going to be reliably Scarfed, and he wanted to get ahead of. I don't know. I don't remember the team from team preview.
Well, it's probably not that important.
Yeah. Oh wait, Never mind. This is disregard.
Oh, is it the Mega Beedrill? Is that what I needed?
Yes, but you just anything base 81 outspeeds Mega Beedrill with a Scarf, so 85, which is what Como could have outsped it at.
I'll trust you because you have the Mega Beedrill and some.
I have the Mega Beedrill, so I've been looking at the calcs on that.
Is Mega Beedrill 135?
145. It outspeeds Pull and Zero Aura.
What a weird speed tier. It's
I
nice,
know.
but anything above 115, I start to get confused on what starts outspeeding what, and, with Scarfs. Anywho, up next we have Jazzy of the Tirana Star Raptors up against Sableye, the Belleville Bellsprouts. Abandoned Pangoro hurts. It's the original Kung Fu Panda. I like it. I like it better than Urshifu Single Strike for the Kung Fu Panda.
In my opinion,
yeah.
And in BDSP, you gotta give Pangoro a Wicked Blow.
You have to, like, please.
Just break it more. I mean, it was a close game for like 20 to 25 turns, and then they realized that as soon as Pangoro hits the field safely, close combat KOs something, and so they prioritized getting Pangoro on the field, and that's where it fell apart.
Yeah. So Jazzy takes this with a 5-0. And because of its role, Pangoro gets the MVP. All right, next up.
The title.
Did I mess something up? The title?
You have it as week 5.
Oh my goodness.
We're week 6. I'll fix the other two before they see them.
All right.
I can't believe it.
I'm a professional, by the way.
Yes, you are.
Alright, next up we have the Lunalana versus Sticks and Stones. This was featured a Sableye that just kind of sat in front of a lot of the early game. It got some knockoff spam. I think this is the Mega Sableye.
Like the Azumarill.
So, like it shot back some Leech Seeds. It just sat there until like it wore everything down, and then one move from Dragonite, like the dual wing beat +1, just kind of wrecked house.
I mean, it made it easy for Dragonite to succeed and close this game out because it burnt and crushed the Azumarill. It burnt this Zarude, which allowed the Dragonite to set up. It kept bouncing back the Leech Seeds from the Celesteela. It knocked off the item on the Kyurem, so it was just taking away all the momentum on the other team until Dragonite got its free window to close the game out.
So it was a tough match, and I don't think Lana's team has any great answers to the Mega Sableye anyway.
I mean, there was a Azumarill. If you force it to Mega Evolve early, then you outspeed and turn pretty reliably one hit KO and play rough. It was just the window that needed to happen.
Sableye, Mega Sableye takes it. Oh, I love Mega Sableye sprite though. It's so cool. Like, let me just.
Maybe this was the matchup for Jigglypuff.
Oh,
that she tried dragging to the first couple of weeks.
No,
Maybe
don't
this was
say.
the matchup. There was a Dragonite there. There was the Mega Sableye. Maybe Jigglypuff could have actually done some work.
Jigglypuff probably walls Dragonite until it clicks the Steel move for some reason.
I mean, it probably fails as soon as It has Steel Wing. It also probably Dual Wing Beat at +1 is going to KO a Jigglypuff because Jigglypuff has like 10 defense.
What do you mean it's broken with Heavy LA?
Alright, last, certainly not least, is King Alpha up against Prince. I gotta turn this music down. It got inexplicably louder. This was a 120 turn game. I watched it really fast.
The game was going super slow until the Snorlax got a very good predictive heavy slam onto the Clefable, and then the game finally opened up because it was going nowhere for probably like the first 70-80 turns.
I'm gonna take your word on it, and we'll give Snorlax the MVP just for ending the match. Matches shouldn't be this long, please. Eviolite Puff the God. I think it just has straight up Iron Head. That'd be so weird if Dragonite only has Iron Head and not Iron Tail. I feel like every Pokemon that actually has a tail somehow has Iron Tail, even if it doesn't make sense.
I think some Pokemon without a tail have Iron Tail, like Primate.
You know, I think that's accurate.
Well, I mean, for Primate, it's because he works out and he has those buns of steel.
I mean, it's because Mankey learns it, but still.
I just now realized Mankey changes whole genus when he goes into Primate. From a lower ape to a great ape. Huh.
Let's focus on Mankey of all the Pokemon with this.
It's the pertinent thing. So those are your matches. We will cover the featured match in a minute, but let's take a look at these standings for a moment. We have over here our standings. Look at all these 4-2 teams.
Yeah, it's chaos. Holy. The entire playoff field right now, if the playoff were to start today, would be just the 4-2 teams.
Wow.
Why is Freeze less competitive than all the other divs in terms of who's getting in? I wonder why.
I mean, there's one team that's on the outs with one game. Like, they could get back into the playoff spot with a win next week. Because look at that differential. They're 3-3, but look how gross their differential is.
Whoa. Oh, yeah, this is the team that keeps winning with 6-0s and, like, losing with 1s.
They could literally, I don't think it's physically possible, but they could basically get to the #1 position with, like, all the 4-2s lost and they won. They would climb right up to the top with how good their differential is. So they're very much in it because it's probably going to come down to tiebreakers, it feels like. And so they have very good tiebreakers if they can get to 5 wins.
Right, because as I'm being reminded myself, differential is the first tiebreaker,
Yes.
correct?
Yes, it is. So they're
Yeah.
well positioned to win that battle right now if they can get to 5 and 4.
These 2 and 4 teams aren't out of it yet. There's still 3 weeks to turn things around, and depending on who you play, if you play one of these upper teams, that feels pretty good for your chances to get in if you can deny them a win and pick up a win yourself. But you probably have to win out to go 5 and 4 at this point.
You're gonna have to, because the odds of any of those teams losing out and falling into 4 and 5 isn't very high, and even if they do, they're probably still sitting on okay.
Yeah, their differentials are going to be okay.
So you're gonna need to win out most likely to have a realistic shot at playoffs.
Yeah, so stick with it. We'll love to see what you all come up with.
I have faith with Jazzy. He can get 3 wins.
Yeah, it's possible. All right, let's take a look at this MVP race here. We have the Fighting Megas up top, Lopunny and Gallade. We're only missing Metacham, but Metachamp's got to be up here too.
Probably.
It's not.
It's 13, so we won't see it on the list. It's the next one down. So there's a lot of
so close.
Yeah, too bad. But Victini up here, normal. Weavile, that's cool. Necrozma. If you see an ALS here, it's off of 1 week.
It's literally that's the entire story. Comfey 1 week of performance. Como 1 week of performance. Necrozma 1 week of performance plus some random kill it got at some other point in time. Probably the week he lost.
Yeah.
Weird little thing going on.
But like everything else kind of makes sense. Like Feeney's been a menace throughout all the leagues. Darmanitan is gonna get kills whether they win those games. Darmanitan doesn't necessarily win, but it is gonna kill.
If it can click Flare Blitz and you don't have a switch in, like it's just gonna do a lot of damage.
Yeah, it's like V-Create with Victini. Something dies if you can't switch into it.
Because don't forget it has Sheer Force and it's running Sheer Force with Flare Blitz. So it hurts.
I mean, it would hurt otherwise. He has a pretty beefy attack stat.
Yeah.
I wonder, have they run Sub Drum at all?
They've run Drum, I think, once. I don't know if it had Sub with it or not.
Yeah, I do remember that happening. I don't know if it was successful or not, or how much it did, but I think it's just been very good as a general scarf, or maybe a banned 1 week, doing good work.
Yeah.
Something I have noticed is every season, Pekka Lopunny's just the top of freeze.
It's easy to use.
It's so
right?
easy to use. Yeah.
Like, normal is such a great attacking type, especially when you take away.
Go.
Like you can't switch in a rocker or normal type to Lopunny. So you
those things.
You have to switch in something that's gonna beat it just on stats alone, and that's not easy. Like Mega Lopunny, Mega Metacham, Mega Gallade, they have such massive attack stats. I feel they're in a category of you have to play ahead of them, and that's not easy, especially I think Lopunny has U-turn, I think, too, so oof.
Yeah, it has momentum and it has a higher speed stat than those two. So like it gets in front of a lot of things and it doesn't have to worry about speed battles as much unless they're scarves. Because Gallade has to compete with a lot of 110s, Metacham has to compete with a lot of 100s. So like there's a lot of consideration for speed going on with those. Mega Lopunny is just usually going first, so it helps to clean up games when you have that.
It's a good Pokemon. Fun fact. Who could have
the best set is Power Up Punch, last resort.
Actually, true. Ooh, someone take notes. That's gross. What is last resort's base power? Is it like 150?
140.
140. God.
Yeah. So I've seen someone run Fake Out Last Resort as a set with Mega Lopunny because their answers to that weren't very good, and it did a lot of damage.
All right. Well, let's get into this match here before we do some tiers.
Yeah.
This is between Adrius and Kribreb. This week we have Adrius with the Scizor, the Infernape, the Zapdos, Florges, Slowking, and Drapion. Yeah,
and then Kribreb has the Darmanitan that we were just speaking about, the Rotom Wash, the original Weezing, the Latios, the Mamoswine, and the Tornadus Therian. Are we playing this on regular speed? Or
Yeah, we're gonna do
I
this on regular speed. We'll do it on go after a small countdown. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. 3,
Let's hit it.
2, 1, go. All right. So we have a Zapdos lead up against Rotom Wash. Super solid for both sides. Ah, okay. Good switch.
Mm-hmm.
Floor just doesn't mind
Good
the
break of
toxic.
Toxic.
Heal Bell.
So Weezing's an okay switch in, but it doesn't really pressure. I mean, even though it has the type advantage, it doesn't really pressure floor just that well, and there's just safer switch-ins.
Sludge Bomb's probably gonna do 30 to 40 uninvested, even with the super effective.
Yeah, it's got a 154 special defense stat. Yeah, so I feel like that early game opportunity was a chance to put Mamo in the field to just pressure the floor just and exert pressure.
I like the Ice Fang there. That was nice.
Yeah, Ice Fang was good tech. The Drapions going down. It's not ideal. I feel like this was probably or something near AV Drap, which is kind of the soft check to Latios, outside of like the Slow King, I think, which is the best answer.
Yeah. A very nice paralyze on the Tornadus, though, from the Zappy switching in on the U-turn.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's see if it's special or physical. It is physical Infernape.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about teleporting into this like that. I think he could have done something a little more with the Slow King. Because that's a lot of health lost on the Infernape that you didn't necessarily want to.
No, I think you could have preserved some of that. But I think it's Scarf just to get past the Latios, so I think it's an okay spot. It's taking a lot of hits.
I think from that damage, it's banded.
Oh, is it? Okay. I thought maybe it was Adamant Scarf to deal with Torn and Latios, but I can't remember from the moment.
I don't know that it's the spread, but Ruxley did 74.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah. The Rotom is just a problem now. There's not really a lot of answers on this team to the Rotom. I don't think the Zapdos sack there was worthwhile, obviously. I think you could have done some, because the Torn's paralyzed, so that's a window to get Zapdos back to health.
Yeah.
So I think that was an unneeded sack, which I think is going to impact Adrius' ability to get back in this game.
Because you still have some major threats on this side where, like, I don't know, you can maybe hope for a paralyze on the Darm if
and here's the
Flare Blitz, or you can sack it to get the Flare Blitz KO.
Mm-hmm.
That crit may matter.
And that crit definitely mattered.
I still don't think it was worth staying in on when you had a very safe switch in with Rotom Wash.
Yeah.
Who presumably was EV to deal with the Scizor, so I just thought it wasn't a worthwhile sack because Mamoswine just exerted a lot of pressure.
Maybe they were predicting a U-turn. I don't know.
I don't know. I still think you take it with Rotom Wash. Rotom Wash has shown leftovers, I believe, or it hasn't shown any item yet, but it's not bad off. It can probably run Pain Split if it's got that as an option as well, so it can get its health back.
Yeah.
Resto Chesto.
But this Rotom's just putting everything down. Yeah. Rotom's just shutting things down, getting everything burnt and toxic.
Just really chunking things.
The Thorozak Hydro Pump.
Whew, unfortunate dual wing beat miss, but I don't think that was gonna do all that much.
No, and then he doesn't commit to the Hydro Pump again there and just loses Darmanitan as a result. He's not in trouble of losing this game, he's just losing pieces he doesn't need to have get lost right now.
Yeah.
And then the
Storm wasn't gonna do much anyway at that point.
Yeah. I mean, there was a window in front of Slow King to get some U-turn momentum or Flare Blitz or Trick maybe. It could have Trick to take away Slow King's item.
Yeah. I always forget it has that.
Yeah, that's the Zen mode coming in play. Trick's a really helpful item on Darmanitan sometimes, just because you're choice locked for a lot of the game, but sometimes you need to shut down setup, which me and Geo have seen it do.
Or just a wall you can't actually break.
Yeah.
And it's not like Darmanitan needs move slots.
No.
No.
Flare Blitz,
U-turn,
maybe
Rock Slide.
Yeah. Cool. And Rock Slide's just like a little, if you're feeling fancy that day.
Mm-hmm.
So we got just a couple turns here. There's not really much way for Adrius to make progress here.
No, the pressure is there. There's not a good answer to Rotom. The Tornadus is having a tough time exerting anything that paralysis is really impacting it,
Yeah.
but he's not in trouble. The nice thing about Rotom is that he's burnt right now, so he's not in really danger of getting toxic or frozen on, any sort of unfortunate circumstances. So he's just exerting a lot of pressure.
That's my least favorite thing, running Scold and getting the burn on the one mon you don't want to get burned.
Yeah, because you need to status it with like toxic or paralysis, and so it's taking that status you don't want it to have. So now the Latios comes back in.
I'm actually usually okay with it because in a situation like this, all right. So Mystical Fire gets the scissor kill, so it's all gonna be over pretty soon. But I'm usually okay with it.
Infernape just outsped the Latios, unless the Latios is incorrectly EV'd, the Infernape is scarfed.
Which means it can't win with any move it clicks.
Yeah.
Yes. There's no winning move.
If you Flare Blitz here, Rotom Wash won't die. Well, alright. Hydro Pump. Oh, wait, no. We are in Volt Switch territory, so.
Yeah, this is
He's safe. He's safe.
There's no risk associated with that.
There was none.
So, Breb kind of cleans up. A little sloppy there in the middle, but he had the pieces to afford to be, I think.
Yeah, he was preserving the one most meaningful one, which is the Rotom, which Adrius couldn't break. It just kind of stood there.
Yeah.
I feel like it was just a waiting game till Forgis died, but he could have gone into Latios the moment Forgis died.
Yeah.
I think it was having some trouble exerting pressure on the Slowking. I don't think it had the right moves for Slowking, so that's why I wasn't seeing the field that much. But
I want to know
Rotom
what Slowking's last move was. If it was like Future Sight or Size Shock or something.
Maybe
we didn't see that last one. Probably Slack Off. But
that reminds me.
Yeah.
I had a friend who brought a Fury Cutter AV Slowking to beat a Lottie.
Oh.
It's just in case it was a calm mindset.
Those Gen 1
whatever gets the job done.
Those Gen 1 move pools are so weird. It's just like, what moves do you get? Oh, you're a Gen 1 mon? Cool, everything. Great.
Oh, you got self-drugs. Go Gens first, let's go.
And after Let's Go, it's like, oh, you all have Teleport now, too. Cool. All of you.
Yeah.
So, that was well done.
Arcanine getting Teleport. God.
Yeah, it didn't need it.
But it has it, and now Duck's doing things.
Yeah, he is. Alright, let's take a look at these tiers here. Alright, he finally won. This is the easiest one. He's showing once again that he's actually a ringer. Alberta's gonna be moved up here.
Yeah. You can't really... Yeah.
I mean, he won without massive setup, just a little bit.
Just a one-turn automize. I mean, with all the setup moves that the Como has, it's actually one of the more vanilla, but one of the less exciting setup moves. Just clicking automize.
I never thought I'd see the day and Como would click that move when it has so many other setup options.
Yeah.
I've seen it all.
How do we differentiate these 4-2 teams? There's so many.
I don't know.
I want to boot Miami Mimikyus down to B tier because no coach in a winning season should be forfeiting games. I'm concerned about their commitment. They've lost 2 straight, one of them off of forfeit that they didn't schedule. So I want to feel confident that they're here to stick it out and play hard, and not seeing that the last 2 weeks.
I'm fine with that. The tough thing for me, I'm gonna move Cubone down and Groveland and just move Victini up purely based off the differential, because of these 4-2 teams are all playing with parity to me. I can see any of them taking games off of each other any given week, and I think it's happened. Yep. That's why they have two losses each. I think the Toronto Star Raptors, which I don't have their thing, it should be, I think the Los Angeles Star Manitans. I'm going to move them up to B tier. Jazzy showing good stuff. They may make a late season run. So
they're alive. That's for sure.
No, it's not the Los Angeles. They took over this one. I really need to update these, but they took over the Infernape team. So they're really showing some late season signs of life. I love to see it. Grabreb as well. Move this one up because they need to be in B tier. Or in A tier. Belleville maybe needs to move down, but I don't know what to think of this team. They're 3-3, but they win hard and they lose soft.
Yes. So it's unclear where they're going to land because I can see them easily losing out, but I could also see them finishing at 6-3 and in a really good spot differential wise.
Yeah,
so
just
it's hard to gauge. I think they're top at B tier now just from a point of consistency, but I think they're one of the scarier teams that could surge late season.
yeah. Okay, I like this. Toronto Valleys is fine. You can make an argument Sticks and Stones could be B tier. I'll throw them up there. Why not? Now we got a nice bell curve, kind of.
A nice little curve.
Because I think C tier is fighting for pride at this point, and B tier is kind of a little bit on the outs of the playoff race, and I think most of them are going to miss out, and then I think SNA are more or less punching their tickets. Is how I feel at the moment.
I want to see Luna win out. It won't affect playoffs, but I want to see it happen.
I'd be down to see it happen.
Yeah, I think Luna's really one of the newer players to the game. I may be totally wrong, but just some of the plays they're making kind of just screams like I'm learning as I go here. Like I've never done a draft league. Oh, so that's what you do when you see a Mega Sableye. All right, I'll remember that next time. I've already lost this match, but I'll remember next time. Like we've all lost to a Mega Sableye somewhere along the line.
Yes, it can kind of just. It's like a couple of mons where you lose your piece. Gliscor, that's the one I'm thinking of. If you lose your pieces to break Gliscor, it's game over.
Or you.
The first time I fought a Mega Sableye was whenever I first started playing Draft League and was new to competitive in general. I tried to trap it with Whirlpool, and then I realized ghosts don't get trapped.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, I love when people try to Whirlpool or something like that on a ghost type. It's always really entertaining.
My first experience with Mega Sableye was an ORAS OU tournament, and the team I brought didn't have a fairy, so like but I was able to take the win home because I had Mega Gallade, and at the time there was no triple axle, so I'm using Ice Punch. I got a Swords Dance off. I got a freeze, so that was really unfortunate for them. They switched into Clefable, and I got another freeze and was able to just Swords Dance up to victory. And like so, RNG was the reason I was able to beat it. Yeah. Well, all right. So that's it for freeze. We're gonna move on to the best league because this league or this div actually gets their matches done.
Only one this week that has all 6 matches done. So
like every
automatic
week except for
league.
last week, we were able to get all the matches done. So Bolt best league. What can I say?
Speaking of which, don't I fight you this week?
Yeah, we should schedule that after the stream sometime. I have literally 0 mons prepared, so you know how it goes. I'll just pick 6. It's fine.
It's okay, I don't either. I don't do my prep until like Tuesday night, which is tonight.
I just kind of wing it. I schedule it and then 15 minutes a day. That's what you gotta do, or more, or less.
You just gotta do it.
A week before all your leagues at once.
You're in like 35 leagues though. You're a madman.
7.
I'm in 1 because I'll get in trouble.
You're responsible.
No, yeah, I'll get in trouble. The wife will be mad. Okay, let's hop into this. Let me pull my cheat sheet up. Coming up first, I'll spoil our featured match. It's between Cats and Duck, since we are able to get a first-hand look into the match. Got Cats with
I'll
those
spoil
4.
another thing. Jirachi didn't 6-0.
I know. Jirachi had a bad week.
Yeah. Okay. So, first up we have the match between Joshua and Sarcasm Incarnate. The key matchup in this one is the only real answer Joshua brought to stop Mega Metachan from just clicking a move was kind of Mega Venusaur, but more Talonflame. And
Yeah.
Talonflame went down real early. It may have been a roll, because Talonflame died when it Flare Blitzed a Vikavolt, and the Vikavolt didn't die. Talonflame may have... That may have been a roll, but I don't know. It would still be at like 50% HP after the recoil damage. So I'm not sure how good or bad that is, or what their plan was. But after that, you know, Mega Metachan was able to just kind of come in, click moves, and sometimes
once you take away the once the flame body risk is gone, like it's just really hard to check something like that.
And that's the thing. Talonflame doesn't have Moltres stats, so it's on a good day a check, and it's never going to be a counter.
It's only a check to get the flame body.
Yeah, because it's still going to be 2-hit KO'd. Moltres may be able to bulk up to get past into the 3-hit KO region, so you can switch in safely. I'm not sure though.
Like
Zen Headbutt
Punch would just 1-hit KO. Well, Thunder Punch itself might just 1-hit KO.
Right, yeah, Thunder Punch may. So it's
hard.
I
mean, it's
really
not a favorable cal. Yeah.
I think it also gets Rock Slide, so.
It does.
Does it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does.
Well, of course it
does.
It
just doesn't run it.
I mean, if you're up against the Moltres, I wouldn't mind running it. It depends, though, on matchups, so... we'll throw it in here. It ended up being a 4-0 result for Sarcasm. Oh, man. Oh, there we go. Had a little pause. Alright, up next.
I've been seeing this Mega Medi Dragapult pairing in a lot of leagues lately. It's in multiple... I think it's in all 3 leagues in XPDLA, and I think I've seen it in others as well. It's a really scary combo, just because it's hard to check Ghost and Psychic simultaneously.
Yeah.
Not even
especially when the Psychic gets a fighting type. Yeah, that's really miserable. So, not a fun combination to deal with.
A lot of people, you know, they focus on the fantasy core. They get the good, you know, grass, water, fire, and then when it comes to like your Psychic, fighting, dark, ghost, they're like, what's left on the board? Let's just figure it out. And I don't know, sometimes, you know, getting a strong pairing on that just gives you all the offense you need. And Hoyt Coo. Moltres can take some rock moves with no issues. Not from a Mega Metachan. No.
Yeah, no. It'll put random rock moves from like weaker mons that only have like base 100 attack and no huge power.
Ugh, what a busted ability. Anywho, up next is our match between Sexy Alexi and Argonaut. Sexy Alexi was able to take this 4-0. There's not really any, like I'm gonna pick a MVP for the match, but there wasn't any real strong showing from a single mon. Raikou eventually on this match was able to get in like 3 super effective hits in a row just to break Argonaut's team. But like it was one of these where you switch in your like defensive piece to this, to this, to this, to this, and eventually Argonaut's team got worn down a little faster than Alexi's, and you know, he took his window with a Raikou. And I mean, there was a Shell Smash Blastoise that also got a precipitous KO, but you know, when all your defensive pieces get down, your Scarf, let's see, does I spell it? I think so. Then your Scarf Victini is able to come in and just clean house. It's that simple sometimes.
I think
Victini moment.
I was gonna say, I think Bolt should be happy that Sexy Alexi is probably not playing for a playoff appearance.
I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy. I took the win from that team, and then he took over it. I was like, okay, we take those.
Yeah, you don't have to fight good Victini.
Yeah. We'll leave it at that. Yes. All right. Up next, we have the match between Miles and Northstream. This match, the early game was a little unremarkable to me, but I want to point out Miles won the match 2-0, and he had a great series of endgame plays, turns, just with the Aegislash, and completely outplayed, I feel, the other Mega Lopunny. And for that reason... Oh man, now I gotta try and spell this on the fly. Oh, I got it. Yay. That region...
I thought you were going to need help.
So, Kat, you don't know this about me. I've done this stream for another league, and it's not even a meme. It's like a running truth that my pronunciation of Pokemon names, not in Gens 1 or 1, is really bad, and that's going to transfer over into spelling, because if I can't pronounce it right, my ability to spell it. Poikumuku. I've gotten a lot better with it. That was a bad one for a while.
Yukumuku.
Asshole. More like it.
We'll get to him soon.
Alright, next up is my match between Blaze. This match was kind of just the thing of no good Spectre answers, and until the Mega Aggron goes down or gets severely weakened, there's not a lot his Mega Aerodactyl can do. So we play... Go ahead.
You had the hope you were not Scarf, but you were.
I mean, the thing with Mega Aerodactyl, because the most successful I've ever been in a league was with Mega Aerodactyl, and you start to fear the Scarf Mons, especially when they're at a super high speed above the 115. And
this is twice now he's gotten hit by a Scarf 130 Mon. First with Jolteon, now with Spectre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the thing with these mons with the high speed tier. So, like, I think Mega Aerodactyl, like an 85-ish speed tier, you can get past it with a Scarf. I don't know if that's exactly right. So what ends up happening is you start finding out things that can just barely skirt it, and if they can hit Mega Aerodactyl for super effective damage, which isn't hard because it's got Rock and Flying as its typings, which is not a good defensive combo, it can be easy enough to skirt past it in late game situations.
And I mean, even though it has Dragon Dance now, it really wants the Hone Claws so you can actually get use out of its stabs.
Don't be a wimp. Hit your moves.
You don't miss after that. Your stabs hit guaranteed after.
Well, Stone Edge goes up to 96% or something like that.
No, it goes up to over 100.
Does it?
I think it's 100 exactly. I'm pretty sure it's 100 exactly.
It must be 70% moves.
It's 100. It's 104.
Okay, so yeah, you're not missing your stab attacks, so it's just really easy.
And Stone Edge is just so good for that mom, but
yeah,
it's because one Hone Claws is 1.33 accuracy.
Okay, on like yeah. So on an 80, that turns into a 24 with some change.
Gotcha.
To it, so it gets over 104. Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay. Coming in with the math. Next up is the match between Cat and Duck. This will be our featured match. It was a 1-0 for Cat. Cat, do you want to name any of your Pokemon MVP this match?
I don't remember the match that well, but Ditto was definitely there.
All right, let's do Ditto then. Yay! Look at that! Look at that derpy boy. All right, last up we have the match between J-Caps and Thor. J-Caps has been on a little bit of a redemption tour these last couple weeks.
Yeah, they figured out their team, which we knew was scary, if a little top heavy.
I think they just decided, I don't need to be cute with this team. If I'm gonna draft super heavy, who cares if they know what 5 mons I'm bringing? These 5 mons are basically all OU tier anyway. So cool, I'm going to bring them, and you're going to suffer the consequences. And this is another week of Mega Maw Isle just demolishing a team, because there's no switch-ins to Mega Maw Isle. That's not how that Pokemon works.
No, you're lucky if you can get by without taking like 60%.
Yeah, the best thing you have is to play in front of it, and even then, that's not great. So Mega Maw Isle gets the MVP because it broke and killed just about the whole team.
I see 6 matches, and I see pure power / huge power being responsible for 2 wins. Shocking.
It's a busted ability. It gives more of a boost than Swords Dancer. Wait. No, I don't know. Don't listen to me. I have a stat in my head about my friend Pigpen says you can switch into it. You just have to be better than me. He's not wrong. But so that's that.
Yeah, just switch into it. Wasn't this the game where it was just Jacobs clicking Trick Room and then having Mons drop?
Oh,
That
was this the Slowpoke? Was this the teleport match with Slowbro or Slowking?
I thought that was
I
last week.
remember
This
that.
one, I thought it was just
Okay.
Mega Mile stood in front and killed everything, but maybe it was in a trick room.
His team has that option because, of course, it does, and so it's gonna be hard to deal with.
I don't know who Forio is.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Thor's
either.
username's like Sid Scyther. Oh wait, you mean on Twitch?
Yeah,
On Twitch.
that guy must be very good. I don't know if it's someone from Dota coming in or not. That doesn't matter. Because Pigpen's a guy I know from Dota. He's a nerd. Don't worry about it. Whatever.
Probably Dota.
Anywho.
Anyways,
Let's move on. Let's take a look at some of these standings here for Bolt. I probably got to reload the page. There we go. Oh no, there we don't. All right. So taking a look at the standings, we have 3 teams duking it out here for first place.
You're on top.
Yeah, woo. Go me.
Woo.
Yay.
woo.
But the second team here is Cat's team, and we play this week, so it's very likely a play for first place. Although Peoria may also take it if we just 1-0 and they get a 5-0, they'll just take it.
I mean, this is going to decide who is in position to take a playoff bye, because first and second both get it. So
Right.
Winner is going to be really well positioned to get that. Loser is going to be needing a little help down the stretch to get back in position for it.
I think though it's safe to say, due to the differentials here, these 5-1 teams probably are all in playoffs at this point.
Yeah, almost certainly. It would take a really specific circumstance of events for them to miss out, because at best there's several teams that can only end up at 5-4, and then there's some 3-3 teams that are probably going to lose one more game.
Yeah. As for our 4-2 teams, JCaps has been on an absolute tear. He's on a 3-win win streak. Ducks team,
Great
they lost,
differential.
but it's a great game. You'll see it. So I'm not going to hold this loss against them. Sydney Scythers, they lost this week. They're still playing pretty well. Same thing with North. North, after a shaky week 1, he's really picked up his play. I think everyone's kind of doing well. For the most part, Sexy Alexi just picked up a team a little too late in the season. Same thing with Blaze. I feel like, and after talking to him a little bit, I feel like Blaze, if he had a chance to draft his own team, he'd be vibing with it. I think he's got pieces on that he likes, but the team as a whole, maybe not so much. And
I mean,
Yeah.
Blaze is fine,
yeah,
especially in this skill setting, because he consistently makes playoffs in other leagues I see him in.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
you take over like an 0-2 team, you kind of keep some of the pieces, you're trying some things out, and he's 1-2 with the team, or 1-3.
As someone that does a lot of replacement coach gigs, you really need to vibe with your top tier, like your top pick, because you can't usually change that one out as easily, just because there's nothing left on the board at that level. So in this case, Celesteela. So if Celesteela is not your thing, you're kind of trapped with it because it's just hard to switch it out into something else. So it can be hard to rebuild a team unless you're really in love with the top pieces.
Yeah.
Just because there's not enough on the board to work with in that level.
And then for Vibe and Victinis, they haven't been able to get off the ground with the team.
They haven't been vibing.
No. unfortunately. All right, let's take a look at this
Well, they can
MVP.
vibe.
What, say?
I said they can vibe, just not in a good way.
Right. Let's take a look at this MVP list here. Mega Miles and Mega Metacham are actually catching up to Jirachi. But Jirachi didn't get any kills last week, so...
Yeah. Even still, Jirachi probably won't get past even this week unless one of them has a killer week.
No,
It's
asking for 4 kills in 1 week is a lot.
It's
mean,
tough.
it's very much possible. We've seen plenty of 6-0s. Lunatone's still on this list, by the way. Bolt,
God dang it, get it out of here.
Bolt, we can do better.
It's on the entire season.
Ugh.
It hasn't showed up in weeks, I don't think. Like it came hard for like a 3-week span, and that's about it.
Yeah,
and
it has 3 games played. But yeah, so top stuff. Jirachi's up there, that makes sense. Mega Mile, cool. Metacham, great. Feeny, cool. Then we got Garchomp, Roserade, and Entei are up there for me.
Roserade's a quirky one for you. I think a lot of it is just like it picks up some kills, it has some spikes damage that picks up some kills. Like it just ends up in a position to get a lot of kills. Because I know for a fact, like when we talk, that's not the mon you're planning to get a bunch of kills. It just ends up getting far more than it's supposed to.
It's just cleanup. I don't really try and force kills into anything, so you'll see my kills usually spread out between a couple of different mons. And Rose is really good at picking up kills though, like, and it adds up. Just it's like 2 kills every week, and then you're at 7.
I mean, I've usually seen you center on one piece. Like there was a season your Jirachi went berserk. It was Buzzwole recently. Usually you find that piece, and I just expected it to be Urshifu, but you just haven't needed Urshifu to be that.
Urshifu was there, but he didn't even hit the field this last week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you have the piece to be getting a bunch of kills, but that really fits your cleanup style. It just hasn't needed to do that a lot of the time.
I like seeing Vikavolt up here though. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I love Vikavolt as a Pokemon. It's so much fun. And it has some stupid like 140 special attack.
140, 140. Yeah.
It's the same as Spectrier.
Oh,
it's got pivot, it's got webs, it's got roost. It can defog too, can't it?
Yeah.
Yes. No. It doesn't have defog, but it does have agility, and that's funny.
I think I faced that set before, but I think they agility'd into like a Stone Edge, so it was like, well, all right, that was fun. But no, it's a really fun mon. Kind of just hiding off the list there, and I still want to mention it. We got Victini, so yeah, that he may creep his way back on there. All right, let's hop. Well, if Lunatone goes away, Victini should take its place. All right, we're gonna hop into our featured match. Because we've got Cat with us, I'm gonna swap these sides so Cat can be the protagonist. Cat, do you want to introduce your team? What mods you brought?
I don't have many breakers, so I have to rely on dumb stuff. Yeah. My breakers are Mega Absol. Bottom text.
I mean, it's got the super high attack. It's fine.
It's fine. Nothing can go wrong.
Alright. But so this week you brought the Jirachi, the Tapu Koko, the Ditto, the Mega Absol, Vaporeon, and Hippowdon.
Yeah. And then Duck has the Nidoking, the Tapu Fini, the the Decidueye, the Arcanine, the Blissey, and the Corviknight. That looks like heavy. Like that could be like a really heavy stall team if you wanted it to be outside of the Nidoking.
Alright, let's get into this. On normal speed, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so we have a Hippowdon lead versus the Burb thingy, Decidueye. Sir, did you stay in because you knew you could roar? And he's been running a lot of setup?
I stayed in because I knew it could roar, and I only needed Hippowdon the quick rocks.
I mean, if that's all you need it for, great.
Yeah, just to get things chipped down, put pressure on things.
Another thing,
Oh, you didn't bring Scarf on the Ditto. That's actually surprising.
Oh. That pays off really well here, though.
I mean, his team isn't really that offensive, the one Duck brought. Like, really, the Nidoking's like the pressure exerter. And so you get a lot of opportunities to heal up with the Ditto if you're playing it right, because Arcanine can heal, Corviknight can heal, Blissey can probably heal, Decidueye might have Roost, so there's a lot of chances to keep your Ditto nice and healthy, which is scary.
The thing is, right? Duck brought a Finny set that beat his entire team because it was Nature's Madness taunt, so he couldn't switch in Blissey to beat it.
Oh!
Huh.
Yeah, that's a concern.
I love that this tech here on the Coco, the Electric Seed, like workup set, like that's, you get the KO here, and the match Duck starts to pull the match back, but when I watched this match live, I saw that, I was like, oh, all right, whatever, this game's over. It was not, but
yeah, and that's just really like the workup, because workup does the same thing as Calm Mind in terms of boosting stored power. Like, it still comes out as the same damage output, but it gives you that Thunder Punch boost that you need to break Blissey, which I think was huge in that match.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it definitely was. But when it prepped, I forgot that Arcanine intimidated the lower the stored power damage. Like, I knew it had intimidate, I just forgot that I was going to be losing damage on stored power.
True.
Bird thingy, also Burb. I can't remember these names. I always enjoy some good names.
Team is birds.
Yeah, you really need to judge draft league players not by the amount of wins they have, but by the quality of their nicknames.
And this was just an oh darn moment. I accidentally let Decidueye get up Roost, so I wanted to roar it down.
I mean, you're exerting a lot of pressure with the roar right now. Does Arcanine boots? Do we already confirm it was boots? Yeah, it's boots.
Yeah, it was boots. Like, I just wanted to stack Hippowdon so I can get into something.
No, that's a good point. That's a good from a momentum point of view. That makes a lot of sense. Like, you don't need Hippowdon much anymore in this matchup. It's not going to really break Arcanine.
He's refusing to kill you until now.
Yeah. And now there's no good answer to Tapu Koko. Not really. I mean, Arcanine's the best answer because you can intimidate and minimize the Thunder Punch damage, which is what's happening. It has the ability to heal.
It's just gonna teleport, because I don't think he has any attacking moves on the Arcanine. He has Teleport, Toxic, Morning Sun. Do we know the last one?
Possibly like a fire move. I'm sure we'll find out in this match.
Heart Stamp.
Oh, just fishing for RNG. Okay. I can respect it.
I just wanted Jirachi to be able to get out chip. I did not expect the weakness policy to let me win, but it was the only way I could actually chip his team down.
Yeah.
And it's working. I mean, Arcanine's at 28% when it left the field. The Decidueye's had to come back in pretty low.
The Duck's playing this whole sequence here very well. To get the two Intimidates.
Yeah, because now we should probably go back in with Corviknight and just try to get the chip on it. But I mean, Feeny does the work, so Feeny gets it. It just takes a lot of chip in the process, because now Coco's in a position to clean up more with that Thunder Punch, because Arcanine goes down here.
You take it out with the Thunder Punch.
What I should have done here is, I should have Thunder Punched again, but I didn't. Oh wait, no, this isn't the turn. There's a turn where I should have Thunder Punched again, but I didn't, and let the Decidueye heal up again.
Does it have Brave Bird? No, it doesn't. Never mind. I was looking at Coco. It already shows all 4 moves. Interesting trapping.
But anyway, this is Ditto coming into play, chipping down the Corviknight enough to let my other mons win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because really, is there a move on Absol for Feeny? Like a good move or just neutral?
It's just neutral.
You can play rough, right?
Yeah, I think.
I noticed after the game that I should have been return over play rough, but live and learn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it has higher damage output. Yeah.
And it won't miss.
And it won't miss, but you get the crit, so I guess that paid off.
I was actually in BC with Duck during this game, and I just kept on telling him, I'm gonna miss play rough. But I didn't.
So it's a nice cleanup from the Mega Abs.
Oh, this is a 3-0 win for.
Oh, I got it wrong. I don't know why I thought one.
Yeah.
Doesn't
okay.
matter.
But anyway, Mega Absol was able to clean it up. We had a long conversation in VC because Duck had thought he threw, but the only real throw he did was sacking the Nidoking. Everything else wouldn't have mattered because I had flip turned on Vaporeon and I was undersped his Corviknight purposely. So I could always get momentum.
I don't even think I would call that a throw on the Nidoking. Nidoking is such a natural switch into Coco.
Yes.
That, like, the set you had, yes, it like specifically counters the Nidoking, but it's hard to call that a throw. Like,
no, I mean I literally play a Nidoking, or I play a Tapu Koko in my match I played one last week with my Nidoking, and then I got caught by Hidden Power Ice, but Nidoking just loves to come in on Coco. Like, that's just what it wants to do. So,
yeah, so
you had a good setup set for that.
Yeah, and it was probably just enough to take it out with the 80 base power psychic move.
If there wasn't a
+1.
Blissey, I would have just brought Specs with Hidden Power Ice, but the Blissey made me have to run the mix set.
Yeah.
I'd imagine Specs Hidden Power Ice does maybe, I don't know, 3% to Blissey. Yeah, that sounds right.
It might do at least 4.
Alright, let's take a look at some tiers here for Bolt. I think really it's only appropriate to keep our 3 5-1 teams up in S tier.
Yeah.
I only want two
two
teams up here in A. Oops, wrong way. I still think Duck's team is like super strong. I'd be afraid to play it. And like that was a really close game where a few turns could have gone another way, or if he just had a slightly different Feeny set. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And the other person. Go ahead.
Let's see. Then that would have been a different game if the Ditto couldn't just kill the Blissey with Finny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're able to like slip a Ditto through like that because it's one of those mons where it's like, well, I know I can't spam setup, but sometimes you may not realize other ways that you can beat yourself.
Yeah, you can get yourself locked into them. You can have a situation where it just becomes a problem. Like, I've had to be careful with my Mega Mawile in leagues against Dittos because my team can't handle any Mega Mawile attacks at all. So
especially Scarfed.
And it's Scarfed too, so it can actually get past a couple of things. So it turns into a whole consideration, even if you're not boosting your mons off of setup. There's just things you don't want to be having thrown back at you.
Yeah.
I mean, Ditto's the most versatile mon in the game, clearly.
It's every mon. I actually am not a big fan of it in draft, but it does have its niches on team building. So.
Yeah.
Neither am I. It's more of just a mon. It's gonna sit there and it's going to influence what your opponent brings.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's pretty good at trading 1-for-1, so.
It is very good at that.
And for a lower tier mon, sometimes that's all you can hope for. Like, you just want to trade efficiently with some higher tier mon, and you'll feel good about it.
Mm-hmm. Trade efficiently or force sets that scare your team not to be viable. That's what makes a good low tier sometimes.
Okay, so as for the rest of our teams here, JCaps is obviously on a tear. I think he just was playing around the first couple weeks of the season, realized, wait a minute, if I just bring the broken mons on my team, I'll win. And he has been. Mm-hmm. I still like Sydney Scythers and Hungry Sharpedos in like this next tier. I gotta change it because the Sexy Alexi's team. But Blaze and Argonaut are probably our 2 lowest tier teams. Bolt may deserve a BC tier where I would put the rest of these teams. Because I don't know, Josh and Miles, they aren't playing bad, but they maybe aren't playing at the top of what their team could allow. At least in my
Yeah,
opinion.
because there's a team from like I think SNA are 5 of the 6 playoff teams. Like, I'll be surprised if any of them at this point miss playoffs. I think that's more or less how it's going to go. I think that the Sunny Scythers and the Hungry Sharpedos are fighting for that final spot, so they feel good right now. But there's definitely a step above like the other 3, but the other 3 are also a step above what's going on in C. Because I think C, the 2 teams in there, their season's more or less done. They haven't been having any good fortune for weeks now, and so
Yeah.
I think
the one team to watch out for, he may be mathematically done. I'm not going to bother going through the math to figure it out. Sexy Alexi may ruin someone else's playoff dreams, though.
Yeah. I think that's what he's here to do at this point, is crush some playoff dreams. So that's the one person I would not want to match up off and feel good about, even if the record says that they should be beatable.
Team is scary.
Because I think they only lost 1-0 in the other week. Because they played 2 games with this team now. I think they barely lost their first week, and then they won solidly this last week. So
right,
beware them.
I lost 1 game and got out to a Sag. Well, yeah, actually, that's how tight it is. S and A are pretty much overlapping anyway. Duck, you're doing well. I'm very proud of you. You're proud of me. It's a big happy treat.
Mm-hmm. I think S is going to be 2 teams after this week, like the 2 teams in position to get a bye, because we're going into week 7 week 8 after this, so like we're really near the end of the season. So I think S will reflect.
I would say if I were to break this up further, like if there was a tier between S and A, Duck would go there. If there was a tier between B and C, you know, the Beartix, Deoxys, and Sexy Alexis, even though it's saying the Aselgors, it would go. Gosh, sorry, I'm reading Duck in chat. It makes me laugh. This dude's funny. Yeah, but I'd move probably Beartix down in between because they're playing better than our bottom 2 teams, but they aren't playing well enough to position themselves for a strong playoff position.
Yeah, someone's gonna the way it is right now. They're hoping to skirt into that 6th seed, so we want someone to enter hopefully with a little more confidence and I guess momentum.
Yeah.
And
all right, Duck said the quiet part out loud. Everyone wants the bye, so nobody wants to play JCaps round 1.
Yeah, that's the team that probably isn't going to get the bye just because they had 2 losses early against teams that are better positioned at the moment to get those playoff byes. But my oh my, that is not a team you want to see in playoffs.
By the way, everybody, Cats stepped away for a few minutes. She'll be back whenever she feels like she had to make a pick for a friend in another draft league. So, well, whenever she gets back is fine. We'll just keep moving forward. All right, let's pop. Oops, that's the wrong screen. I can't hit buttons. We're gonna go to the best league. I mean, worst league. Actually, no, this is the best league because of one particular match that is by far my favorite, my favorite thing, and I'm gonna go into it, and we can have a talk about it. I don't care. This isn't Puckle, so I'll give real opinions.
Words will not be minced.
No, I mean minced a little bit, but like not the opinion won't be minced. All right, so first up we have your match, McGee, up against Sid the Science Kid. You take this off a 3-0. This was a really close match. I remember watching this, and I was like,
almost threw this in the end, and I would have been furious at myself if I had. So I ultimately win this because I get my Mega Diancie to finally get some momentum in this league. It did really well last season. I've not been very successful with it this season, but I was able to get it Mega Evolved early, scout for Scarves, and just start spamming Moonblast, things like that to break a couple of things. But then I almost threw it at the end because a Tapu Koko, who I scouted to know was Specs, had 2 turns left of Thunderbolt, and I had 2 turns left of Terrain with Thunderbolt. All I needed to do was let those turns burn out safely, and then Thunderbolt was really not going to KO my Mega Diancie. It had a 25% chance with Terrain out, and so I just needed to be smart and take a 1-0 win rather than unnecessarily gamble.
I
I mean,
thought
it
this
worked
was
out
a-
okay.
Was it a
I
1-0?
got the
I thought
3-0
it was.
win. No,
Okay.
it is a 3-0. I should have taken the 1-0 because I would have been very safe to do so. Because if they get the 25% roll and KO my Mega Diancie at the end game, they win the game because I have a half health Cinderace and a Pyukumuku left after that. And so if Thunderbolt had gotten the roll in their favor, I lost, whereas they needed a crit to KO the Diancie outside of terrain. So it was just a needless gamble by me. Thankfully, it paid off, and I didn't
Right.
lose the match. But yeah, good little momentum going for me. I think that moves me to what 4-2 at the moment per
Yeah.
the document. So
All right. I'm gonna
quite content.
You also left your. That's not how you spell it. There's an I between the last two. You also left your fate to a focus blast. So.
I know. Oh my god, I forgot about that. Yeah, I had to run Focus Blast because the Porygon 2 just switches in freely against the Nidoking otherwise. Just nothing I could do about it.
No, Brick Break probably does 40%, so it's like cool.
Yeah.
This doesn't.
Wait, what do you mean? I'm pretty sure even with Focus Blast, Porygon 2 takes that.
It can, but like Porygon 2 is also switching in and teleporting a lot this match, so like the chip is adding up. And so it thinks it can do it one more time this match, but it just hits, like it switches into a Sludge Wave, takes like 25%.
Yeah,
And
nothing
then
meaningful.
And then it takes, 40% from the Focus Blast, and it's like, oh. Okay.
Yeah, people forget he has access to that move because it's almost never the move you want to run. But there's a couple of times where you really need the Focus Blast because I had to KO, I think, like a Hydreigon one week in a different league where I had a Nidoking in, and so I needed that Focus Blast power, and it paid off and it
just
hit.
Focus Punch on the switch in.
Game Freak, where's my hidden power fairy?
I mean, Focus Punch does less damage, I think, because I don't get the sheer force boost. So Focus Blast is a better move, and it's easier to spam.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy it hit.
Because the
I'm
better
overdue
move
for
is
that
the
miss.
Funnier move.
All right, so
I'm a Focus Punch advocate. It just wasn't the situation for it.
I'm gonna rewind just a little bit because now that you're back, Kat. Duck said the quiet part out loud about Bolt, so I kind of want your opinion. Everyone's like all of us at top are fighting for the bye because nobody wants to lose to J-Caps in round 1.
I don't really
playoffs.
care about J-Caps' team. I'm just going to click a button and then die. That's okay. Because it means I have to prep for less games.
I mean,
that's an alpha mentality, honestly.
you do have the Coco, which does affect his regen core pretty hard. Because the Slowbro isn't enjoying that, the Tornadus isn't enjoying that, and it kind of forces the Tangrowth into like an AV set role if it doesn't want to be bothered by that. So you have an okay piece to deal with when it's a really hard to break regen core.
No, I like the alpha mentality of, well, if I lose,
Okay, alpha
that's less work for me next week, so cool. All right, we're getting back into it for Flair. This next match is between Dilly and Sickbid. This was a pretty close game. There was a Blissey that used Dazzling Gleam and picks up a KO on Urshifu's Single Strike.
Was it Chople?
What?
I don't know if it was Chopple or not. I had the courage to stand. I think it was Chopple. I think they discussed it post game, so that it was positioned to always sit on an Urshifu.
Yeah, I thought I saw that
attack.
it was Chopple as well. Because,
I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't stay. It doesn't just sit if it clicks Banded Wicked Blow when you die anyway.
Sometimes though with like these mons like Urshifu, you're just like, well,
Don't just get greedy. Be like, oh, super effective.
Yes, I mean, I lost my Urshifu to that. I felt I was in. It was against J-Caps, no less. He ran like counter Slowbro with Colbur Berry, and I would have won clicking any move I had at this point, even close combat. But I was just like, hey, look, the calc says 150. Click. And
That's plenty super effective.
yeah, so.
Sometimes we forget about pinch berries, and they do that to us.
Yeah, and all of a sudden the game wasn't won anymore, and we had a game back on our hands. So that was nice. But yeah,
I had a moment with that with Kirim as well. I was weakness policy, and my opponent just clicked Focus Blast, activated my policy, and then I won.
Whatever gets the job done.
Just for the balls of steel, we'll give the match MVP to Blissey. Stunfisk probably had a greater impact that match. It was spreading out stats.
It didn't die. Like
No.
it sat in front of a Mega Venusaur at one point. It was just sitting there being an absolute fiend. The Blissey got the big play, which opened the game up. I will admit, but the Stunfisk was just like stupidly unbreakable that match.
Yeah.
Like
I would
inexplicably
love
unbreakable.
Stunfisk if it had recover. Give Stunfisk recover.
Oh,
It was
man.
pain split effectively that match. Like it just used a bunch of pain split. It was frustrating to watch how effective the pain split was.
Yeah. All right, this next match hasn't happened yet because we have a new coach replacing Sprite. It's Bash of the Beijing Urshifus, and it's a replacement coach, so it got delayed to sometime this week. So it'll happen when it happens.
Yeah, HWS is on vacation to my understanding, so I think the match just kind of got pushed because Bash wasn't ready to go in time, and HWS left before they could be ready. So it'll happen when it happens.
Bash is a good player.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty new to the league, so some of the established people that are coming in, like maybe Bash and Alexi, I don't really know their history, but I do see chat reactions when it's announced that they're taking over a team, so it's exciting. And
Harry stands also like in a lot of other places too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're both in a league with HWS right now, so he's always someone to watch out for. Obviously, I lost pretty hard to him a few weeks back, so I know.
So this next match, honestly, we're gonna talk about it last because there's some things we need to talk about. But we only have one more match, and this is our featured match between Mithlo and Hero. So even though it's our featured match, I'm gonna just lie and say it's a 1-0. It's not, but I don't want to spoil it.
Keep the meme alive. It's always a 1-0. You did it with mine too.
Yeah, it's not a meme. I'm just bad at this. I spent all my time making this cool MVP thing that doesn't matter at all, but whatever.
No, it was all according to plan.
Oh yeah, all according to Keikaku or whatever the weeb meme is.
Translator's note. Cake means Keikaku.
Yeah. I can't even like really be mad at memes or at weebs because I read manga and so like I'm just a written weeb. I don't want whatever. Anywho, so the last match here between Smeargle and Queen is supposedly being played today.
Yeah,
that's what the reschedule said, but I have not seen it. But I mean,
as of yet, there is no match.
There's still a couple hours left in the day. Some people are up really late, and it's like 11:30.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Queen is not known for early PM games. I'm pretty sure Queen likes to play her games pretty late, so I don't really expect this until like late.
I mean,
it'll show up though.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. Okay, so let's get on to Tides versus Cameron. This match had a little bit of controversy. It was saltier than the Dead Sea. Let's put it that way. Tides was very upset this match because they lost their what was it? It's the Horsemon.
Iron Defense. Yeah, Iron Defense Mudsdale.
So they set up defensively. They get up to +6 defense with Iron Defense. Body press to not even kill... like, they get a crit in their favor to kill a Komodo when the calc says Komodo is not going to die.
Yeah.
So they get a crit in their favor.
It Clanger is sold too, so it's not like it was just like a Komodo that can't do anything. This was a Komodo ready to do some damage.
Yeah, so... And it had the threat spray too, so it was +2, probably Boom Burst, ready to just demolish.
Yep.
Okay, so you get that crit in your favor, and cool. So it happens. A Barraskewda comes in, gets a crit on the liquidation, and he just immediately starts blowing up the chat of like, oh man, like this is just such hacks in your favor. I had this 1-6-0, blah blah blah, and it's just like completely oblivious. All of this to say, RNG happens. It's literally, if you don't want RNG, this is not your game, man. Like,
it was one bad turn. We all watched Geo's game a few weeks, or week 2, where it was like 8 different bad pieces of RNG that cost you that loss early season. So
yeah,
like, you know better. My point is, you know exactly what it's like to be destroyed by RNG in a match.
like
that's entirely out of your control.
So that's the thing, right? We all the time run moves like Stone Edge, Focus Blast. Cameron Robb got the crit against Ty
On a +6.
On a +6
Muds.
Yeah.
Mudsdale. So it was a very fortunate liquidation because it was not going to break that Mudsdale otherwise.
No. Mudsdale probably would have picked up like 4 or 5 KOs that match until the Toxic killed it. But
it had rest, so it was going to get back and healthy.
Wonderful. Yeah. but we play this game. And we're all running moves like Focus Blast, Hurricane, Stone Edge. And you know, you're just asking fate to one day just say, nope, not today. Like
yep.
We've all been
the thing
in a
is,
position. Sometimes these 70% moves, and that's the most obvious example where it happens. Like, anytime you're setting up defensively, you're asking for a crit to ruin your day.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this a lot of times with Geo and others that RNG rewards offensive play. If you're playing overly defensive, if you're counting on defenses to hold in a match, you're just begging for RNG to screw you over. So sometimes it happens in a few short turns like it did this week. Sometimes it takes 30 turns, but if you're just hoping for RNG to continuously be in your favor, obviously it's not an ideal spot to be.
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, it's only really ever hacks if it happens early in the game. But a random crit after like 100 moves have been clicked.
Yeah, statistically it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And in this case, it was literal payback for a crit that happened 3 turns prior. So It was a 1-for-1. But it happens.
Now, here's where I'm going to go on a little tiny rant on Cameron. Cameron has had some sketch wins this season, and what I mean is he was able to beat. I don't know last season, but he was able to beat Eileen because Eileen brought Overgrow instead of Contrary Superior. This week, you see a precipitous switch or something last week when the game was lost.
Last week it was against a Mamoswine. The Mamoswine. Or what was it? The Medicham was behind a sub and it clicked Ice Punch on a Mamoswine that was on the field rather than High Jump Kick. So he skirted that loss. He should have lost that one because he didn't have a way to deal with that Medicham behind a sub. But
all of that to say, in any given week,
that's their fault for running High Jump Kick.
Yeah, so all of that to say, in any given week, luck can affect the outcome of the match. But when you start doing this over multiple of weeks, luck is a skill. We can't in sports it really is. You can't measure it. But he's up 3 wins due to luck, and like at that point, that's measurable. Like
you're right.
He also
it takes skill to click Iron Head.
He's the same guy too that last season. Last season he had an Arc Result that got 2 meaningful freeze dry crits on the water ground switch in. And so he's just been very good about, I mean, again, these are all offensive plays, so he's getting things on offense in his favor because he's playing on offense, but things tend to go his way more often than not.
Yeah. So all of that to say, like, if you have a way to manipulate the code of Showdown such that it's giving you these advantageous things, maybe Cameron's the one to bring it up.
I wonder why Bagel John negatively impacts his own code to make him lose.
Maybe. But alright, that's enough on that. Point is, RNG happens because that's the way Pokemon is honestly balanced, because a lot of these moves would be busted otherwise. Like, we don't need a special fighting move that's 120 base power. We already have close combat. No, we already have close combat. And close combat's busted.
It's a broken move that they made at TR, so now it's like wide distribution. It's one of the worst decisions they've made since giving hidden power wide distribution.
I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like the distribution. I thought superpower was a great medium for like how you balance a 120 power move, because you lose the attack and like,
the defense, and so you're vulnerable.
The defense is whatever. It's more important that you lose the attack.
That, unless you're contrary, superpowers are strictly worse than close combat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's a decidedly worse move unless that's the only option you have, like things like Scizor, where if they need that fighting coverage, that's the only thing they got to work with.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Scizor didn't learn close combat through TR.
I am too. But it's for the best it doesn't have it, because it has great coverage as it is.
You're right, Duck is super skillful. It takes so much skill to click Nature's Madness. Which, by the way, before Duck drafted Finny, I think I've only ever seen Nature's Madness clicked one time with a Finny.
It's on the rise. It's gotten really popular on the OU ladder in the last few months. So it's become a more viable Finny strategy.
I know I've been using Nature's Madness Coco a lot in WPF.
It's a good one. Coco with that is good, especially if you don't have hidden power to work with, because that's a good way to deal with obvious switch-ins that can easily wall it out. Things like Nidoking that would otherwise just happily come in and just sit there aren't liking Nature's Madness.
Coco without hidden power and stuff is just like, I think Discharge is better than running Thunderbolt on Coco, per se.
Yeah.
Just spinning for paras and just pivoting around.
Alright. I gotta move us along. The wife is telling me 90 minutes is a long time. So we're gonna take a look at these standings here. We still have Dilly up at top. Or no, Dilly's 4-2. This is Cameron.
Yeah, Dilly's falling up. Yeah,
Cameron's
this is Cameron.
Monkey Masters. So they're looking pretty.
Me and Cameron back to 1-2, just like how it was last season.
Yeah, so a couple teams at the 4 slot here. Only probably Beijing is out for certain. You know, these teams at 2 and 4 can pull out up to 5-2. So we'll see if they're able to do so. It's not an easy task, but it's possible.
It's possible.
Everyone else is very in this, though.
So all right.
I just find it funny because the teams at like 3-2 and stuff can easily just lose out on playoffs, even though it's a majority of the thing.
Yeah, I mean, even these 1-2 teams can lose in playoffs. I've seen it. How's your semifinals going, McGee?
I haven't played any yet, but I'm going to lose all 3 this week. Don't you worry.
Very good.
Wait, you're in 3? Oh my god.
I'm 0-5 in semis, and I'm going to be 0-8 after this week. I'm 100% positive.
Anywho, taking a look at the kill leaders, this is what we call a balanced kill leader list, like 11-6 between 1 and 12.
Look at Garchomp,
all mons
though.
That makes sense. 11-0.
It came for 3 games, and it hasn't seen action in like 2 weeks, and it hasn't even played a game. Like, he hasn't even played this week, and it's still at the top. It did a lot of work in its appearances that it's made, and then it's just sticking around up there.
Yeah. Imagine not even bringing Garchomp for half the season.
Yeah. HWS does odd things.
Yeah. All right, let's hop into this match between Hero and Highway.
Yep.
Hero this week brought the Murkrow, not even Honchkrow, Murkrow, Slowbro, Aromatisse, the Swampert. This is normal Swampert because nobody drafts Mega. Salamence and Necrozma.
Yep, and then who was the other person?
I just went with Highway. I gotta cheat.
Okay.
Mythlo.
Mythlo's got the Landorus Therian, the Spectrier, the Galarian Zapdos, the Alomomola, the Florges, and then the Metagross.
Alright, so we're gonna start this. 3, 2, 1, go.
Mm-hmm.
We see a Slowbro lead. It's a pretty
I think
early
that's
Mega Slowbro.
I think that's a really needless early Mega. I think that's going to come back to bite them.
Yeah, I should just teleport. I mean, you can even just Scald. The regen recovers.
Losing
so
the regen
nice.
early is rough. Metagross is going to do something super spicy here. I love this play. It knows exactly what's going to come in on it, and it clicks Grass Knot. I didn't even know it had that move.
I didn't know it had that
I had
move
this
either.
come to me.
That was just so cool to see. Really smart prep to know exactly what comes in on it, and just abuse that. Even though Slowbro makes more sense as the piece to come in on it with that like bonkers 180 defense stat.
Yeah. We have the Landers against Necrozma.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, really good play here to just Toxic it up instead of going for the U-turn. You need to be really careful early on that you don't proc a weakness policy on Necrozma. Because its Prism Armor is really strong.
Yep. Hero's already calling GG here, so the assumption is that even though they've brought Aromatisse, they didn't bring Aromatherapy. And so they're really vulnerable to the Toxic stall.
Yeah. I mean, overall, the team's pretty passive anyway. You're asking Salamence or Necrozma to, like, win the game for you. The rest of the pieces will enable that, but...
This isn't even an offensive Salamence we're going to see in a minute. Both teams, and this is crazy here, both teams have 2 Wishers in this game. The Aromatisse is doing Wish support, the Salamence is doing Wish support. The Alomomola is doing Wish support, the Florges is doing Wish support.
I kind of like seeing Salamence as a Wish support mon, because it has the HP stat to do it. You just don't normally see it. No, and so if Hero had brought, and the only reason we show this game is because Hero didn't bring Aromatherapy. If Hero had brought Aromatherapy, this could have been a really, really long game. Yeah. With
both teams having double Wish support and both teams having Clerics, it would have been gross. So we'll consider us and them fortunate that wasn't the case.
So I didn't know. I know this calc. You can actually make Metagross.
Really fascinating. Yeah. So it had a check for Slowbro too.
Whenever Slowbro Mega evolves, it gains so much weight.
I didn't know that. So I guess the Grass Knot was actually a really spicy answer for both things then. So that's good to know.
I'm being dead serious.
I know. I'll be there soon.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, things are whittling down here. The reality of the situation is that Hero doesn't have a way to deal with the Toxic stall, and so pieces are going to slowly crumble. The Wish support's hard to get off when both your Wishers are poisoned or going to be poisoned.
Right.
So it's Hero trying to stop the inevitable. I believe their sweeper piece. No, actually, no, it wasn't their sweeper piece. I don't know where their offense is in this match, to be honest.
I think they just wanted to outstall the opposing team.
Which is fine, but I think if you want to do that, you need to wait for the window to actually Mega Evolve the Slowbro.
Yeah. I mean, you can get away with it if it's like a rest set, I guess, but you don't want to do it too early. And so I think Slowbro's not positioned to do that or set up. The Necrozma's not a setup set. The Murkrow obviously isn't doing anything offensive. Swampert's got a traditional set going on, and the Salamence is Wish support. So it was just going to be a really long game. I'm really surprised Hero didn't have, and thank goodness they didn't, because this will probably be a 200 turn plus game if they had brought Aromatherapy as well.
Yeah.
Imagine how short this game would have been if this was a Whirlpool Rest Swampert set with Toxic.
Yeah, that would be pretty quick.
Yeah, the team doesn't pivot very well. The pieces that come in to handle Swampert, namely like the Aromatisse and the Alomomola, get broken by that set because Alomomola doesn't usually run refresh, just because it doesn't heal the team, it just heals Alomomola. And so the Florges is the more likely to be the Cleric.
I think at this point, Hero has more or less given up on the match. They said as much about 10 turns ago. They're just kind of switching in to get everything toxic. But
yeah, I mean, so this is just a really good bounce back game for Mythlo because we played the week prior. Mythlo, I was able to get what should have been a 6-0 win on them, but they got a nice little crit with their Spectre at the end game to make it a 5-0. And so it's just a really good way to bounce back after a tough loss and kind of get back on a winning streak and really like reassert yourself. So good on them to get that going and get the season back under control. I know Hero is pretty much feeling like their season is lost at this point, so I think they're just kind of going through the motions for the rest of it. This was kind of, I think, probably the nail in the coffin on their season. This game was.
Yeah, it's really tough to come back. All right, so I'm gonna say after this match, I'm gonna close the stream. We're gonna have to do the flare tiers off stream. I do gotta go.
That's fine. Just assume I'm top, behind Cameron. Cameron can have it until we play in week 9, but
yeah,
put me at second. I'm coming for him.
Floor just gets the KO here.
Woo! Yay!
There it is, because it's a Honchkrow. So that's really well done by Mithlo. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna end the stream here. Cats, thanks so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure to have you on.
Yeah, it was fun. Also, make sure to tell your wife Pikachu. Don't ask why.
Will do. I've been Dr. Geo. With me is McGee and Cats, and we'll all catch you later. Peace.